Welcome to the next Q&A for trauma healing and life counseling. In this video, I will answer question 42. Dear Gopal, I have a question referring friendship to another person. Sometimes I get doubts in a friendship and I don't feel the attachment to the other. Then I feel panic because I want to be attached to the other, but I can't feel it. I get in doubts then and can't think of anything else, just the person I wanted to have a friendship with. But suddenly there are scary doubts if she or he is the right one. I really want to be attached to persons, but I can't feel it sometimes. There's one person, for example, I could talk with about lots of things, we could laugh, etc. And now when we Skype together, I'm annoyed from her and I don't know why. That scares me much. I hope you understand what I mean. Do you have any explanation for that? Thanks a lot. Love. Yeah, absolutely. I have an explanation for that. I can explain in all details what you describe, and I will do that now. What you write is your childhood. So if I read that, I see what happened in your childhood, not the details, but the relationship patterns that you experienced. And this is what you describe now, and this is what creates the suffering, but it's unconscious what's going on. And that's why you ask, and it's good that you ask. So we start from the beginning. Sometimes I get doubts in a friendship and I don't feel the attachment to the other. Yeah. What we have experienced in childhood is that the approach or the attachment to your environment was not stable, not completely reliable. And the reaction in your system to that had to be suppressed. And these poles are like shining through your description. Yeah. So what you describe, what you write is your attempt to complete the childhood. That means that you want to feel the other. You want to feel that what you didn't have in your childhood. You want to create, you want to find another person with whom you can experience that what you needed in your childhood. This is the attempt that reaches your life now from childhood. Yeah, it's like a circle. Yeah, it's what you constantly try to establish. And it didn't work in the childhood, and it didn't work, and it doesn't work today, because otherwise you wouldn't write this this question. Yeah, you would establish the connection and you would have a happy life. So just to see how this affects your life today. And at the same time, if you do that and it doesn't work, of course, there's a reaction in our system, and this is basically stress. We call it dysregulation in the autonomous nervous system. We can call it just stress. And stress on the emotional level means something like anger, maybe even hate. Yeah. And you write, I'm annoyed from her. And this is the entry point to the actual energy. And we can bring it to the core. And this means the attachment to the parents in your childhood didn't work, and the hate that resulted from that had to be suppressed. And again, these are the two poles you live in. So from the nervous system point of view, you just live in the childhood and try to solve the childhood, as most of the people do. Yeah, it's normal in this society. Now, it's what's important. This, what you write, you write this several times. I want to be attached to the other, but I can't feel it. Yeah. This is your childhood. And it is important now to understand that this cannot be realized today. It is over. You needed that in your childhood. You didn't get it, and you will in that way never get it. It makes no sense to try that. But it's not a bad news, because now as a grown up, the point is you don't need it anymore. But this is not clear. Yeah, your system still thinks that you need that there is a desperate attempt to reach the other, to feel the other. But a grown-up relationship is not the fulfillment of this impulse you describe. This impulse is from a child. As a grown-up, we need something else. So even if that would happen on the outside, what you want, it wouldn't help you, because you are not a child or a baby anymore. So this pattern, this relational pattern, would not fulfill you. Yeah, it would make you crazy. So what you need is something else. You need a grown-up relationship. And what is a grown-up relationship? A grown-up relationship is not that the other is like we want him to be, or that the other is doing something that I want, that the world is the way I want it. This is what a baby needs. Yeah, the world has to adapt to the baby's needs. But on a grown-up level, it's about sharing what's there. This is the grown-up level of relationship. So it doesn't matter with whom you are together. It doesn't matter how the circumstances are. It's about the question: are you able, and do you dare to share what's there? So instead of trying to be attached to another and trying to feel the other and all that what you describe, it's about telling the other that you feel lonely, that you feel disconnected. This brings the solution in the grown-up world, in the grown-up relationships. Yeah, it's the difference between acting out the childhood trauma and sharing the trauma. Yeah, sharing the state that is still in the nervous system. And by sharing that and by listening to it from another person, this difficult state will be dissolved. But it will not be dissolved as long as you try to reach the other and what you write, to feel the other, and so on and so on. So again, this impulse is leading you in the wrong direction. It's about sharing what's there, not about completing something. So, and the next point, of course, this doesn't lead to a connection, what you try to do. So you reestablish the pattern in your childhood. Yeah. What you do, what you try to do today is what creates distance to the other. And because of this distance, you feel something. Yeah. You feel the counter reaction in the body. And as I said again, it's about rage, anger, hate even. And also this has to be shared, because also this what you write with annoyed, again, this is just the surface of it, of these emotions. They are also not real. So the impulse you write, that's what you try to do, is not real. And the anger and rage and so on that's still in your system is also based on something that is not real anymore. So as soon as you start sharing both poles, yeah, that you feel lonely, that you feel disconnected, that you dream of being attached, and so on, and at the same time that you feel anger, that you feel annoyed, that you feel rage, then you share and communicate the poles of your childhood trauma, and this sharing brings the connection, the contact you want and need as a grown-up. So with that sharing, you enter the grown-up level of relationships. All other things is childhood trauma and will not bring you to any solutions. So for me, it's very easy to understand, and I hope you get some idea how to continue. And again, it's all about honest sharing. And if you see that it's too much for you on your own, then search for a trauma therapist and let him or her help you to get in contact, to share what's inside of you instead of trying to survive. Because what you write is trying to survive. It's not yet life. Life is sharing. Yeah. Survival is acting out and all that comes with it. And the last thing you write, that scares me much. Yes, of course. In childhood, it was dangerous, this energy, this counter reaction, because it even threatened the attachment relationship even more. So you connect that energy with danger, and it's also not true. If you feel rage, anger, hate, being annoyed, whatever, is not a danger anymore, because a grown-up can easily deal with that. If I tell you, for example, there's a feeling of hate, so there's nothing. It doesn't threaten you. So this is also not true. You feel scared, but this scariness is out of a projection of danger that comes from the childhood. It has no reality today anymore. Yeah, so this is my explanation for your situation. And it is always like that. Yeah, we always hear the childhood, the childhood relational patterns, and this information that you get by my talking now is in a way opposite to the ideas you project on life onto other people.